Welcome back to Meat Market Minutes. Today we're going to have Dr. Charley Martinez from the University of Tennessee talking to us a little bit about what's going on in the pork sector. So Charley, I'll go ahead and throw it over to you.
Thanks, Justin. I think one of the key things, that just like any other industry right now, is the pork industry adjusted or had some supply issues because of the packing plants opening and closing and in restaurants opening and closing. And I think we'll see that here in the presentation, some of the reactions as stuff has opened back up and as restaurants came back online. I think one of the key places to start would be just kind of looking at the supply of what we have here in the United States. And what you're looking at there is hog slaughter. And as you can tell right there, when the heart of the pandemic hit, we really were at some all-time lows in terms of hog slaughter on a weekly basis. And we really ramped it back up, and we got above 2019 production and well above the average there that you see from 2014 to 2018. And so as you think about it, we started slaughtering, we came back on as the packing plants opened back up, and we started ramping up our slaughtering amount. Therefore, we're going to have an increase in supply as we go forward. And so as we start thinking about not only are we slaughtering more, but if we look at just the weights of that we're slaughtering, we're also slaughtering bigger animals. And so if we think about it, we're going to have an increase in supply as we start moving through the wholesale market. There we go. One of the things that kind of stuck out at the wholesale market was the pork loin prices. You see there, in reaction to the low supply, we had an increase in the wholesale prices there for pork loin. And then as we got our supply back up, you saw the reaction to the prices, and our prices come back down. And then as we look at something that was real interesting, I think the pork belly prices were one that was influenced by the reopenings of restaurants coming back online. And as we think about it and we start analyzing it, people are having hamburgers with their bacon, or having bacon on their hamburgers. Restaurants like IHOP are coming back online. And so we had breakfast coming back. And so we have bacon with our eggs or whatever. And so I think that's kind of what we're seeing there in the pork belly side. If we get to the retail side, I think we see the same reactions across the board, and we see our retail price starting to dip back down as we had our increase in supply. And I think moving forward, that's something that we'll see at the retail side is decrease in retail price, especially like on pork loins. If we go back and think about pork chops, for instance, I've personally been cooking more, shake and bake, stuff of that nature. And I think that's something that I took advantage of because of the low prices. And I think moving forward, that's something we'll see. And I kind of want to end with comparison to beef and chicken. And, just like all the other sectors, we had supply issues occurring. And so as you think about it, we did adjust to it, just like all the other sectors. I do think we'll stay on trend in terms of just inside the pork industry. In terms of, we're coming back off the high prices, but I still think compared to the other sectors, we adjusted quicker in the pork side. And I think the trend's going to continue down in terms of the retail price. And hopefully moving forward, that offers opportunity for consumers to get cheap product. So moving forward, I would expect that at the retail side to see lower prices. But with that, thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Charley?
Hey, Charley, we've seen a run up in hog futures prices the past few days, week or so. You want to say anything about what's spurring that, or what's driving that market right now?
I think it could be a combination of optimism in the future in terms of trade, and also we've had the chance to kind of correct ourselves in the supply chain. So I think we're trying to replace some of the supply in terms of slaughtered pigs, and so I think it could be a combination of demand and supply spurring the opportunity or the optimism that we're seeing. And I think that's moving forward. I really think that's if we get international trade back online and we get to trade a little bit more, I think that's something that we're seeing in the future. And I think that's some of the reasons why we're seeing optimism.
Well, I'm just thinking broader picture. They had that African swine fever up in wild boar in the EU and Germany primarily, and Germany's a major supplier of pork to China. And I don't, that's why, that's why we had, at least
That's a
that's
good
what I
point.
think has caused that
Yep.
sudden run. And essentially that means pork coming from either the United States to China, more pork from United States to China, or South America essentially. But yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a lot of things at play there.
I think, and I think in other videos that people have mentioned it about the seasons coming up. I didn't put it up here, but ham prices also, in terms of with the holiday season coming on. So for the pork industry, I think they adjusted in terms of supply to the COVID-19 issue, and I think now there's some opportunity and optimism moving forward too.
Andrew, just on that trade note again, I think there's been all this run up also on beans lately. I think you can typically find correlation, particularly when it's trade induced, on those bean and pork markets when it's positivity from China. So I definitely think I would guess on the trade side, there's got to be an element of that in there as well. So.
Hopefully, I didn't have a picture, but I think there'll be some people happy with the prices of pork chop moving forward too. So thank you for. Is that it? No, is that all the questions?
Any other questions? If not, we appreciate it. Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks.